Located in the heart of ReoTown, Lansing, Michigan, lies a storefront called the ReoTown Marketplace. Inside the marketplace are a bunch of little odd and end gift shops. One of them stands out among all the rest. The Voodoo World of Oddities. Join me as I take you on an adventure inside the Voodoo World of Oddities, where I will try to get some first-hand knowledge of the items on display here at the Voodoo World of Oddities. Some of these items are haunted, cursed, and downright just scary.
You first introduce yourself if you want.
Okay, my name is John Harris. I am one of the owners of Voodoo's World of Odditiques in Lansing, Michigan. We are just that. We are a traditional voodoo shop and oddities and curiosity shop. We take in a lot of haunted or spirited dolls and items as part of our shop, and this particular young lady is one of the more stronger ones.
Yeah, when you opened up the curtain over there and I was you were first showing me, I felt a little nauseous. You know, it's one of the things that claimed that this doll can do was cause nausea.
Yeah, when we first got her in, we had an area over here where we were building the museum that we're building across the hall with some of the paranormal items, and she was next to the casket that was over there. And a lot of our customers would come in, and without really knowing any of the history of the doll, they would come up to the front of the shop and say they were getting nauseous back there. So, and that is one of the things that people do experience around her.
Wow. How did you obtain her?
She came to us from Georgia. An investigation team down there were called into an elderly woman's home, and they immediately targeted onto her with different energies coming from her, experiences with her, so they decided to remove her from the home to see if that would help with what was going on down there. And as soon as they took the doll out, the woman had no other issues, in the home. But the investigators, they started experiencing things with her in their home. Everything from, scratching on their feet, to just feeling at ease or that nauseous feeling. They said that she doesn't like bright lights. She doesn't like blondes, whether it's human or dolls. For whatever reason, she does not like blondes, so we don't really know where that comes from. So they eventually they shipped her up to us, and she's part of our museum now. And like I said, customers that right now she isn't on display in the store. We keep her in the back for right now until the museum's done. But she does create a lot of energy. Most of it not that good of energy. It's, like I said, it's getting nauseous, just an uncomfortable feeling, if nothing else. They just feel very uneasy around her.
Wow.
And she will move her eyes around a little bit. Now, she is one of those dolls that if you move her, her eyes will open and close and whatnot.
Oh my.
But we haven't experienced it yet where we've seen, because we don't sit there and just watch her. But her eyes will open and close. She does move around a little bit. She's, being all fairness, we're a bit skeptical with things that are claimed haunted, so we haven't seen yet the movements that people experience with her. But again, we haven't worked really closely with her yet, like a couple of our other dolls that we've had for years, that we know exactly what they can do and what they do. So this one, as soon as she gets in the museum, we'll do a more thorough observation with her.
Definitely. Now, beyond like what you know of where she came from that house, do you know anything about the origin?
No. What we and what the original investigators assumed, because the woman did have several other old dolls, they were probably her childhood dolls, more than likely. She is very old. She's very worn. She's got a lot of use out of her. So it's something that probably was from her childhood, but that's only.
You know what the old woman's name was?
No, I don't know if we ever. I think because of privacy, and they never released that to us.
Right. Just makes me wonder, if there's certain things that you would say or would do that could trigger a response from the haunting of the doll.
Right. Yeah.
And if we were to investigate this doll, maybe put some recording information devices to it and try to see what we can get. If getting EVPs out of it,
right.
Maybe it can tell us a little bit more than what we know.
Right. And she could be a jealous spirit, being that she was in a household full of other dolls. And the investigators did say that she didn't like other, specifically blonde dolls. So maybe if we put the one right behind her, during the investigation, just surround her by blonde dolls. See if that does anything.
Yeah. Definitely. So that's pretty much all I'd like to know about this doll. I'll probably set up some equipment a little later on and see what kind of responses we can get.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't really feel like it scratched on the feet today, but
keep your shoes on.
Keep my shoes on. Yep. I do. It almost looks like the doll itself has a scratch on its own arm. On that side.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, we don't know what happened to this doll. Did it witness something traumatic? Was it a doll that wasn't taken care of and was just thrown around? I mean, we just don't know.
Yeah.
And it's probably one of those things we won't be able to know.
Well, let's see if we can get to the bottom of this and figure out a little bit more. Do some EVP sessions and try to see if we can interact with the spirit that is haunting this doll.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now we got two more dolls here. One, the most famous one of all, Sarabina.
Sarabina and her sister Bella.
Okay.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit of the backstory on Sarabina.
Okay, Sarabina, she's been with us since we purchased her. She's not old. There's nothing special about her upbringing, so to speak. We bought her from a regular Halloween store, brand new for our dark art photography studio and haunted houses that we created. So, like I said, she didn't come from some historical or some old home or haunted home. She was just part of our studio for years. Over those years, we started experiencing different things from her. Right off the bat, the energy that exudes from her is a little bit uncomfortable for some. For me, not so much. But I've always been her caretaker. So we've never, my wife and I never had those type of negative feelings from her. Other people, though, started experiencing some dread, uncomfortable feelings with her. When she was in the studio itself, in the warehouse part of it, she would be put in one location, and then when we needed her again, she was in a different location, not that far from it. So we weren't really sure how that was happening. We just assumed that it was misplacing her, but the frequency of that was kind of suspect. Maybe somebody moved her, maybe they didn't, we don't know. But because of some of the other things that we're experiencing with her and other people are experiencing with her, led us to believe that a spirit has entered her at some point. We don't know much about the spirit other than it makes people very uneasy, very uneasy. They're very creeped out by her. Over the last couple of years since we've opened the shop, she's gotten a lot of media attention. When we first opened up, we never had a name for her. We did a Name the Ghost Girl contest. That's how she came, the name Sarabina came up, right? The customer named her, and out of all the submissions, that's the one that was chosen.
Wow. Okay.
So, you know, the local media got wind of her existence and her story, and they started coming in and filming her. Other people come in and want to get their pictures taken with her. Other people come in with that idea to do that, but then they can't be around her. They immediately kind of, wouldn't say freak out, but they get very uncomfortable where they don't want to take a picture with her. So that's the story about Sarabina.
I do know the last time we were here, we did an investigation. She was making our equipment go off like crazy.
Yeah.
Especially the K2.
Yeah, she was burying that. She definitely, and it's funny because the energy in her comes and goes. Because every now and then, you know, I'll test it with our K2, and sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. So, you know, she could be going in and out of the doll, or she's just not active all the time. But it just seems like when people approach her and interact with her, she comes to life.
Yeah. I know the whole idea about the haunted things that I'm doing right now. She was at the top of my list because of the activity that we got when we investigated.
Yeah, she definitely throws off some vibes, some energy, which brings us to her sister Bella. Now Bella was the same thing. She was nothing at the time special about her. We brought her in as again another prop for the haunted houses that we ran in the studio, the photography studio. And she has more of an energy. There's nothing that she's necessarily done that makes me believe she's haunted. I like to do that haunted thing, just because it's a trigger word.
Right.
But she tends, because people feel very at ease with her, you almost want to pick her up and hug her. She just has that loving energy, that caring energy. So we decided to balance Sarabina out. She's always with her. She'll always be next to her.
Like a sister.
Yeah, like a sister. And we do call them sisters. They are sisters. We got them about the same time. They're very similar, the way they look, but their personalities are way different. So Bella is, everybody loves Bella. Everybody's intrigued about Sarabina.
Now, how did Bella get her name? Is it the same way? Did you guys do a...
No, I named her. Yep, I named her. She was one of the most recent haunted houses we did. She was in one of the displays, and I needed to carve in this wood enclosure she was in, kind of. I wanted to scratch in a name, you know, so I picked up Bella, you know, for Bella Lugosi, you know. So that's how she got her name from me.
Nice. Now, We do know that when Serafina, when we investigated with our K2 meter, that was acting like crazy. With Bella, it would have a trigger every now and again, like a little tiny spike, and that's what would cause that to go off. Is make us think that maybe there's something there too.
Right.
Definitely energy in both these dolls, and then. It's going to take me a minute to remember this doll's name.
Donna is her true name. Yeah. We call her the Azazel doll.
The Azazel doll, yes.
But yeah, she, they're, out of all the dolls we have in the shop, these two are the most active and the most negativity active-wise. We have some other ones that have some energy in them. People claim they've been haunted, but we just haven't seen that yet.
Yeah. We got this thing here. It's just lurking in the background on the camera.
She was actually, we're watching her pretty closely right now. She was custom made for us by a friend of ours at Cuddly Creatures. They had an unfortunate fire. Their house burnt down. They lost everything. And this was actually, and she does this for a living. She makes these custom dolls, for people. She made this one for us, and it was the very first doll after the fire that she made. So, does that have anything to do with some of the energy we're getting from her? We don't know.
Important call that you got to get?
Nope.
Okay. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on her too. We have an investigation coming up in a couple of weeks after the event, so we're looking forward to doing that. Definitely going to set some stuff up in here. We'll catch something.
Yeah, it's March 25th at our Haunting in ReoTown, which you guys will be here, and after the event, the investigation. We have two lucky people that we draw their names, and they get to go on a ghost hunt with you guys. Yeah, it'll be fun.
Tell me your backstory.
Okay. This particular piece came to us from a friend of mine that had it in his collection. He never felt that comfortable around her for good reason. He obtained her from a down in, I believe he was down in New Orleans, from a Santeria priest, form of Voodoo. And it was made in Mexico by this Santeria priest, and it was a working ritualistic Voodoo doll that we believe that he did place a spirit in this particular piece. Since we've had it for a few months now, it does stay in a enclosed, locked case at the front of the shop, strictly for people to look at. We can give them information about, Santeria, Voodoo, things like that. But she is probably not one to be trifled with that much. We do not interact with her that much because we don't know what she was actually used for. But knowing that it was Santeria, it could be something potentially malevolent, possibly not. Not everything, contrary to popular belief, not everything in Voodoo and Santeria is evil and nasty. It's quite the contrary, as a matter of fact. But because we don't know how this particular priest used this doll and for what purpose, we do take a lot of precautions with her.
Very cool. Would you give our team permission to maybe do an EVP session with this doll?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, no, it'll be good to find out if there's anything still in her. Right now, she just has the energies that we definitely feel. You'll definitely feel it around her. Whether there's something actually in her or not, we don't know.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can get to the bottom of that and see what kind of energy or what we can detect from it.
Alrighty.